Uh, Hello engineers, welcome back. It's Code.Samurai again. And, the video of today, wanted to make a very basic video here of showing or demonstrating how to initialize a full stack project that is basically with a React front end and nodeJs backend. So I will assume that you have nodeJs installed, you have Node installed in your machine. Then you also have Git installed in your machine, and also you also have vite, that is vite, which is a React tool in your machine too. So I will be designing, or that is I will be creating, I'm initializing this particular project step by step, as we shall see in our next action. So the first thing you do is navigate to a place where you want to create your folder. In this case, okay, now navigate into your machine, navigate to the folder where you want to initialize this project. In my case, I think I will initialize mine in local disk D, and then the visco items, and then we have significant projects, and then in here I will create a new folder and name it Dr. Samurai. Okay, basically the application that I'm initializing here, I will assume is an application, basically a platform for patients to be able to interact with. That is, a patient can log into the system and maybe search for what is causing a particular thing, for example. In most of the cases, it will be like it's like an expert system here, an expert system for doctors that will be basically using what we call machine learning to analyze records in this case. So I will just show you a very basic initialization here. So after creating this particular folder here called Dr. Samurai, I can now open my VS Code in that particular folder. This is the shortest way to do here is by navigating into that folder. And then on the top here you can see there is this PC new volume D, that is basically where the Explorer shows you the path in which you are in. You can just click there, and then delete everything there, and then type cmd to basically navigate into the command prompt of this folder, cmd. Then you can see a black terminal here, which is in this case is our command prompt. After that, you can see we are in the directory named Dr. Samurai. Then after that, type code and then space dot. We'll open VS Code in that particular directory. As you can see, that is the easiest way to maneuver into that particular directory, opening VS Code in it. Okay. Yeah. So the next step here is since it's a full stack project, we need to be having two folders here. One of them is a client, and the other one is the server, because we need to separate those particular files for each and every site differently so that we can manage these files properly. So I'll be using React for front end. So what to do next is open the terminal by simply pressing Ctrl, then the back tick. You'll see the terminal is open with the pointer pointing to the Dr. Samurai directory here. So to initialize a vite project, that is on you make sure that you have vite installed in your machine. To initialize it, you simply run npm init vite. Yeah, when I run npm init vite, you will see that the VS Code or the tool here is asking me for a project name here. So I can just type client, because basically it is it is what it is. Front-end, okay, React is a front-end, right? That is all. Then press enter. Okay, after that it requires me to choose what I'll be using. We have vanilla JS, we have the Vue, we have React, we have pre-React, among others. So for me, I will be using React in this case. I think you can the down and up keys. You can navigate through any of the tools that you're using in this case. So I will select React in this case, press enter. Then it asks me to select whether I'll be using pure TypeScript in this case, or TypeScript plus SWC. Then you have JavaScript and JavaScript with SWC. You can choose any. If you are not conversant with the TypeScript, you can just use JavaScript in this case. But in most of the cases, JavaScript is almost similar to TypeScript, maybe with some very little differences here and there. So you can just select TypeScript. For my case, I will select TypeScript plus SWC in this case, and press. Okay, so you can see it tells me that I should navigate to client first. So I navigate to client, cd client, and then run the command npm install. And as you can see, it will start installing packages for me here. It may take time depending on the internet access you have. So as we wait for that, we can be doing something else. Okay, so that is the first step here. Initialize the front end of your application. The second step is in the same Dr. Samurai folder or directory, you need to manually add another folder and name it server. Okay. Yes, you manually add another file and name it server, as you can see. And then in this server here, this is where we'll be having our backend code in this case. And to initialize a node backend server here, what we do is we can open another terminal here and navigate to the server directory. So you can see I've navigated to the server directory by running the command cd server. Then after that, I can just run the command npm init y. That is a dash y, npm init dash y. This one tells the node to install what you call all the available packages. And most of the cases you will see that a package or JSON file will be initialized by running this command. When I press enter, okay, and then open the folder here, you will see that we have a package or JSON initialized in your folder. That is basically what npm init y does for you. Then from there, the next step is for proper management of files. Inside the server, we should create another folder and name it src. Inside the src here is where we'll, okay, sorry, is a folder. I think I just created a file inside the server folder. Initialize another folder, name it, okay, no, call it src. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is the next step here. Let me see with our machine. Okay, still installing. Okay, so that is basically what is done here. So inside the src here is where we'll have all our JS files, or basically all our files that are necessary to build our backend in this case. And one of the necessary files we have here is the index.js. Okay, index.js. No, okay, is a file. Sorry, is a file. Yeah, one of the most important files here is the index.js. And this index.js acts as our main application in this case. This one is whereby is where we initialize our server. Most of the cases we'll be using Express for our server backend, or basically, yeah, I'll be using Express to initialize a server instance in this case here. Okay. And with that, the other subfolders need to be creating inside the SRC folder here is create the routes folder. The routes, basically, here we'll be handling on the routes of our project. We need to add another folder inside the SRC. Inside the SRC, we need to add another folder and name it controllers. Okay, then again inside the same SRC we need to add another folder and call it middleware. Okay, and among other files we will be creating them. That is depending on the complexity of your program or of your application. Then you can add a lot of files as it is possible for your project in this case, but this one has the most basic files. In my case, most of the cases when designing any project, it's not very easy to find these particular folders missing in your project in this case. So the controllers here, this one is a folder that handles, possibly inside the controllers, we usually have files that contain functions that are to be used all across your backend project or backend folders in this case. Here, this is where these are just basically JavaScript functions, just random functions without connecting, that are not necessarily specific to maybe a certain file or a certain folder. Maybe they work all across multiple functions on multiple pages here, or if they are not working in multiple pages, we can have functions here. For example, password validation. Okay. Then is one of the functions you can have inside the controllers folder. In this case, I can see that our application here, our client or our vite here is well initialized. And with that, now vite allows us to spin our first project using its tool here. So to run a React project or a React project using the vite tool here, the first thing is navigate to the client folder. As you can see, I am inside my client folder. In this case, we have Dr. Samurai and then the client here. I'm inside my client folder, and then after that, you can run the command npm run dev. By running npm run dev, you can see vite provides you with a local HTTP here, or a local URL, which by clicking on control and then click that particular link, control. Okay, for example, you can see right now I've not pressed control, but when I press on control, the pointer changes, and then I click on localhost 5132. It will open the default React project without any editing. For example, I think you can see how it opens in this case. Yes, and when you see this, that means that you have successfully initialized your React vite in your machine. Okay. The next step is we can just do some few editing here and there. Okay. First editing, that's to delete the default settings of that particular React. The first thing is we have the SRC. Inside the SRC folder is where we find our files. Similarly, the same way as I've told you guys, that if the server still need an SRC folder, that one is good for organization. You can see our good guys in React has initialized our SRC for us. Here we can see. Okay, so in the assets folder is where we have the images. This is where we will put images for our project all through. Then in the app.css, this one acts as the main application in your page, or the main application for your project. The main is like an index.css, or in this case, but it's a bit different, but we shall see how different it is. So I can just delete everything in the app.css here. And then in the app.tsx, I can also delete everything here and leave what is necessary. I think we do not need app.css is required. The vite row here, all these are not required now. I can just delete them. Then I can also delete the use state here. Then I can also let me just delete everything here. Delete everything there. Then let me also delete everything here and initialize this particular tool here with a div of class app. So you can see, and then you can just write a message here, hello world. Okay, and save. Okay, when I open my app here, you'll see that everything is gone, and I remain with what I've written here, hello world. And what you can notice is that the hello world is at the center here, meaning that we have some added extra CSS in our application, and that is why you have hello world in the center here. So the extra CSS is inside the index.css file here. Okay? So you can see inside the index.css file here, we have other CSS here. So you can just copy everything and delete everything there in the index.css, and then save, and then come and check the changes here. I think now you can see that everything is set well in this case. Okay. And after that, we can open a Git repository and push everything there. That is the next thing. So Git, let me move into my GitHub account. Okay, sorry, GitHub repository. So this is my GitHub repository, or my GitHub account, and then I think we can just create a new repository here and name it maybe Dr. Samurai. Dr. Samurai, my repository's name is Dr. Samurai, and then I can just give it a description of fast, intelligent, maybe doctor. Okay, so and then save it as a public. Then don't need to add a readme. If you want to add a readme, you can just add a readme file here. So after creating a repository, you can see it gives me a HTTP here, which is remote access to this repository here. The next thing after that is initialize Git in our application here. You can see we have the server and the client, so we don't need to initialize vite in every folder here. That is come into client and then initialize vite, and then come into server and then initialize vite. You do not need to do that. And what we need to do here is basically just navigate. Okay, press Control then backtick. Control then backtick to navigate into your PowerShell, and then I think you can create a new here and make sure we are in the root directory. For example, you can see you have significant projects and then Dr. Samurai. This is our root directory. Make sure you are there, and then initialize Git in that particular folder. To initialize Git, we run Git init and Git init. Then you can see a Git folder here appears. In fact, you don't have to modify anything in the Git. This is just here to help you push items on your GitHub. So we don't have to edit anything in Git, so don't worry about the Git folder here. So after initializing Git, then if we then minute, sorry, I forgot to discuss something with you guys. Sorry for that. Okay, inside this client folder, we have this gitignore here. Gitignore is a very important file. This is because it basically shows you the files that should not be pushed in your Git repository, because they are only used for development purposes, not for deployment. Okay, so this gitignore here should be available in each and every folder. So for example, I need to come copy the gitignore here and then paste in my server. Okay, yeah, paste in my server here. Make sure it is there, because at the end of the day, you may find that you have a lot of dependencies you are installing here. They use a lot of space. That is, they can use even up to 10 GB if the file or the project is very huge. And at the end of the day, you find they are not very necessary to push them into your GitHub in this case. So gitignore ignores, from the name itself, gitignore, it helps you ignore the files that are not necessary in your application. And then after that, then I can continue with my Git pushing here. You can see I have git init. Git init is initialized here. Let me try and run git branch. Okay, it is not showing me the current name of my branch, but I think it will show me when I push add my commits and stage them in this case. So after running git init, the second step is you need to add. Okay, you need to add these commits or these changes to your stage. To do that, you basically run git add maybe all dot for all. Dot means all. Git add all, and press enter. You will see that it will start writing other things here. So this basically shows that it is adding what you call those commits. But okay, it is staging those changes. Okay, so after running git add all, then I need also to run another commit, another git command, which says that git commit. Okay, git commit message. Okay, when committing something, you need to leave a message. That is basically the message should be very meaningful. In this case, we run the command git commit -m, and then when those pitch marks there, and then you write your message here. For example, I'll just write a message here and say that this one is my first commit. Okay, and then press enter. Then after that, I can then run my command git branch. Okay, so what you see here is the name of the current branch that I am in. For example, you can see the name is master here, but we need to rename this one to main, because basically master is a name that was changed. Basically it seemed not a very good or something, because basically in the olden days master referred to how maybe slaves called maybe their leader or something of the sort. So slaves called their leader master. So it was discovered that the name does not look so good. It somehow can bring some trouble, so they changed the name to main. That's why when you navigate to our GitHub here, you will see the word main here. Okay, so we need to rename this master to main first of all. We rename this master to main by running the command git branch. Okay, sorry. Yeah, git branch, then m, then main. We rename to main. Then after renaming to main, and then we run again git branch. You will see that we have changed our master to main. Okay, that is the second step. Then the third step here is we need to connect our GitHub repository with the local directory in this case. So this is the command we run. You can just copy paste the command here, git remote add origin, that particular path. Then you come and copy paste it here, git remote add origin, press enter. Then finally you need to push everything to the origin main. Okay, you copy paste that one and then you paste here, and then wait for a moment, and we will see that it will start copying things here. This is just showing that the files are being copied, and then finally everything is copied well and nicely. So when you go to our GitHub repository here and refresh our page, okay, you will see that we have everything well set. We have the client side, which is this one, which is our project, our front end, and then we have the server side here, which is in this case, our backend in this case for you. Then that is basically a very basic way to handle or initialize a vite project in our local directory. Okay? So therefore, after that, you can now start editing. Okay, you can start editing items in your client. For example, let me try doing some few things in our client. Okay. In our client, inside the src folder, I can create other folders here, namely pages. You can create pages here. Okay. You can also create inside the src folder. You can also create components. Okay. Components. I can also do that. So inside the pages section here, this is where we write the pages, then the pages we want to use in our project. For example, I can just inside the pages folder, I can add a file and name it home screen or home page, whichever name you may want to call it. Home screen. Okay, home screen dot home screen dot tsx. This is a tsx file. Okay, and then after that, I can maybe initialize a React functional component here by running the command rfce. RFCE means for React functional component, and then press enter. RFCE, then press enter to initialize a React functional component for me. Okay, just delete that one, and then in the first div here, you can just add a class and name it maybe home screen. Okay, maybe overall home screen container. Okay, and just name it that way. Then maybe write h1 here, saying that this is my homepage section here. Okay, and then maybe I can also add another page here inside the pages and name it contact. Okay, maybe about, we just press about.tsx. Then again, similarly to the same way I initialized React functional component, type rfce. Okay, then come here and add a class and maybe call it overall about page. Okay, now let me also change this one to home screen page. Overall home screen page. This one is overall about page. Then I just type it, add the h1 here and say about page. Okay, then finally can also add a final page here and call it contact page. Contact.tsx. Contact.tsx, and then okay, sorry, is a folder. Just initialize the folder instead of a file. So add a folder, a file, and name it contact.tsx. Then again run RFC to initialize React functional component. Okay. Then we have a type here overall contact. Okay, class name overall a contact page. Okay. Delete everything and type here a contact page here. Okay. Then after that we have 3 pages here. So these pages are usually used in our app.tsx. You can notice that after even defining them here and then coming to our vite project here, we can't see the pages here. We can't see what is initialized, or we can't basically see the components here. So to make these components visible, everything has to be rendered inside the app.css file here. We have to render every file inside the app.tsx to be visible here. So I can import home screen here. Import home screen. You can see it it appears here as long as it is visible on the top section here. Then it will just appear automatically if you type the starting letter, for example, and then I can import about here. If I just type A, you can see the about appears here. Press enter, it will automatically initialize itself. And then we have the contact page finally. So what contact page? Yeah, so you can see and then to use them here we need to call them as component here. So we can to use them here we need to you type an opening angle bracket and then you type the name of the component, for example home screen. Okay, and then you close it. Okay, then you save. Okay, so you can see by typing home screen here, when I come I will see the name that I typed here for the home page, which is a home page, and then I can do the same for the other component here. Okay. So you can do the same for the other components, which is about page. Okay, and then also for the contact page. Okay, so you can see that all the 3 sections or all the 3 components are well rendered into on our home page. In this case, that is how app.css works. And for each and every page here, for example, for our home page, home screen here, the page will become very huge. Okay, we can in fact do that. We can type header here and then start doing everything here. Maybe okay, we start with maybe dot header here. Header. Excuse me. You can start typing homepage header here. And then inside here, add some navigation links. Add some navigation links here. UL. Okay. Then maybe start with the home. Don't know. Home. Start with again about. Okay. LI. About. Okay. Maybe contact. Okay, contact. Okay, and so on. And then we can do that here. You can see it appears, but in most of the cases, the home page will become very big into an extent that even modifying one thing inside here becomes a problem. So that is why the components page appears here. Now in the component page, we'll again try to somehow reduce the code content here. So in the component here, I will create a header here, a header folder. Okay, just create a header folder here and name it header, and then I can also create another one, name it footer. Okay, so inside the header here, I can initialize a header file by just typing or what to note here is that every name of a component should start with a capital letter. It should not start with a capital letter. We cannot, for example, write header.tsx here. It won't work. So we need to start with a capital letter of header.tsx. Okay, and then initialize a functional component here. Initialize a functional component here, and then here we can give it a class of overall header. Overall header component. Okay, and then can just type a very basic navigation link here. Okay, so we can type ul alafu li. Maybe let me give 3 LIs. Okay, so you can type home here. Home. Okay, you can type about. Also, you can type contact. Okay, and then inside the header also we can also add a CSS file for the same header. CSS. This one is you are allowed to use small case letter or CSS file. It doesn't bring any issues. And then in the same folder we have header.css. This is whereby we will add all CSS for this header. And to include this one in our file, we need to import it. You can see we need to import the header.css this way. And then from there, we need to call this header inside the home screen because we want to use it here instead of using all this here. Instead of using all this here, you can just import header here. Import header, okay, and then use it here. And then save and refresh. Okay. So you will see that the same appearance happens. Even after deleting what is inside the home page here. Okay. So after that, let me just, to avoid confusion, let me comment out this about and the contact page here, and make sure you're only left with the home page in this case. Yeah. So after that, we can maybe add some very basic CSS here in our header file. So this is the overall container. Overall container. And just type it there. And you have the UL. Okay, there. Then we can just align everything. You can use a display flex, then flex direction, row. Then Z gap. Give it a gap of maybe 1.5 rem. Okay, you can see everything is working well. Then you can remove those dots by typing list style none. Okay, list style none, yeah. And basically after that, for every li we can add a font size of 0.5 rem. So this is just a very basic. Okay, sorry, that one is too small. Maybe 0.5. Yeah, you can see. Then I think we can add we can make them white in color white. Okay, then make the header here black in color, so background color black, so that they can be visible. Okay, and maybe add a padding block of a 0.5 frame or 0.3 or 2. Okay, so you can see how it appears. So we'll use this one as our home page. Okay, then maybe we can center everything. Can just center everything here and none. Justify content, center. You can see how easy it is to modify, and we have this. You can see it doesn't fill the page here. So what we do here, we can go into our index.css. So let me see. Okay. Inside the index.css, you can edit the default settings here. For example, we have the title Vite React here. Just instead of writing Vite React, you can type maybe Dr. Samurai. Okay. And then we can remove this SVG here. Okay, SVG, you can just remove that SVG here. There is no problem with that. And then do some very basic setup here. Okay, so in the index.css we can type something like maybe HTML, or for every HTML tag, not okay. So I can just type for all and say maybe I want border or a margin 0px. Okay, border 0px, then box sizing, the box. And think by writing that, when I refresh, you can see that now it fills every page. Now you don't have any space remaining there. Then you can just change the padding here to something that is bigger, 0.5 here. And you can see everything is now well set in our application here by just writing this. Okay. And everything now becomes amazing as time goes by. So that is basically how we do. And I think I can complete or end that video here. Who is not well conversant with React in spinning up a very basic project. The same way you can see what we have done. Okay, so that is the basic structure for a full stack React project. I think after that, I can just push everything here I can push everything to the GitHub by typing again command git add all, then git commit. Then I can just type a message like maybe added, and the commit adds. Okay, the commit adds about contact and home screen pages. Okay. Then press enter. Then after I refresh here, you will see the commit here, which is that. Okay, sorry. Okay, so no, git commit m. Okay, sorry. Okay, I think we need to push after committing. We need to push to the origin by running the command git push origin. Yeah, you can see everything is now set. And then when I refresh here, you can see about ads, contact, home screen, and other things. So you will see that it will tell you have only edited the client side, you have not edited the server side. And for now, I think we can finish our video in that section. If there is any problem, any question, or any other video you want me to do, just comment in the comment section. We will attend to your comments. Thank you very much, and let's meet in our next tutorial.